Good morning, this is Kasturi De. In the previous two videos, I was discussing about the air chapter. It's a chemistry chapter according to ICSE syllabus class 7. So I completed the constituents of air, how oxygen is made in the laboratory, the two processes I discussed, the compounds of oxygen which contains oxygen and the properties of oxygen. And now I'm going to discuss the differentiation between burning and respiration. I told you burning and respiration. Burning is a fast oxidation process and respiration is a slow oxidation process. Okay. Burning takes place at high temperature. High temperature is required for burning, and respiration, only body temperature is required for respiration. Large amount of heat, energy is released in the form of heat and light during burning. In respiration, energy is released, small amount of energy is released in the form of heat only, no light. Then artificial process. Burning is an artificial process and needs initiation. There is to be some initiation to start the burning. But respiration is a natural process. It goes on and on. There is no initiation required. Now burning does not need a catalyst, whereas respiration needs some catalyst, that is known as enzymes. Now in the burning, residue left, if any, it does not contain water, but respiration essentially contains water. There is some residue, that is water. Okay, now we come to another slow oxidation process, that is rusting. Rusting is what? It is a slow conversion of iron into reddish brown hydrated iron 3 oxide, that is Fe2O3.XH2O. Okay, the molecules of water is not fixed, that's why XH2O. Okay, by the action of moist air. So two conditions are required to get the iron rusted, that is oxygen, air, that is, and moisture is required. Okay, to form an hydrated ferric oxide, that is rust. Okay, and presence of acidic gases like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, etc. increases the rate of rusting. Okay, now we come to the differentiation between burning and rusting. It's a fast oxidation process and rusting is a slow oxidation process. Burning takes place at high temperature, rusting takes place at very low temperature. At low temperatures, then burning in burning a large amount of heat is released in the form of heat and light. With light. In rusting, small amount of heat is released but no light. For burning, only air is necessary, but for rusting, both air and moisture is necessary. For burning, the residue left, if any, does not contain water, but for rusting, the residue left must contain water molecules. Okay. Since iron is very useful metal, it is necessary to prevent rusting of iron. And that is done by painting, greasing, metallic coating, etc. Galvanizing. Okay. Now, we go to the tests for oxygen. How can we prove that the gas which is being liberated contains oxygen, is oxygen? Okay. Oxygen rekindles a glowing splinter. If we take a glowing splinter near an unknown gas, and if we see that the glowing splinter rekindles, that it starts burning again with a flame, then this shows that it is oxygen. The gas is oxygen, and it supports burning. Then when colorless oxygen is brought into contact with colorless nitric oxide, a brown colored gas is evolved, that is of nitrogen dioxide. Okay, NO2 is formed. Now alkaline pyrogalol solution, it turns brown when oxygen is passed through it. Okay. Now what are the uses of oxygen? Oxygen, we know that it supports burning, that is, it's needed for burning. For example, fuels, etc. to produce energy in the form of heat and light, which is derived from air. Now, it is also required for respiration. Now, oxygen burns food in our body to liberate energy. Okay, oxygen cylinders and masks that are used to facilitate respiration in places where there is deficiency of oxygen, like firemen, miners, sea drivers, they all use oxygen cylinders when they enter into these places where there is less amount of oxygen. Then soil also holds some air in between the spaces of its particles, which is required for the living beings present in the soil and also the roots of the plants to breathe. Okay. Then it is given to the patients who are suffering from respiratory problems or due to heart attacks, asthma, pneumonia, smoke inhalation. And these patients are given oxygen. Okay, artificial oxygen. They are given this artificial respiration by oxygen cylinders. Even for natural breathing, carbogen are used that contains 95% of oxygen and 5% of carbon dioxide. Okay, and again in the dentistry, for local anesthesia, this oxygen is used in combination with nitrous oxide, that is dinitrogen oxide or nitrous oxide N2O. The mixture is used for local anesthesia in dentistry. Then used by deep sea divers. These oxygen is used by the deep sea divers in the form of a mixture of oxygen and helium for respiration. If they carried air in which nitrogen was present, okay, because air contains nitrogen. So if they carried this type of air along with them for respiration, and as we know, deep down the sea, there will be oxygen supply will be less. So they had to carry oxygen cylinders, and that cylinder contains oxygen with helium. Okay, and not the simple air which contains nitrogen. What happens if they carried this air? What will happen? This nitrogen which is present in the dissolved air, that will dissolve in the blood under high pressure in the depths of the sea. When the divers return to the surface, this nitrogen would have come out of the solution forming bubbles, and these nitrogen bubbles could form anywhere in the body, that is in the bones, muscles, brains. These can cause very heavy pain, it may paralyze your body, or even it can cause death. Okay. Now, they're used for cutting and welding metals in the form of oxyacetylene torch. Okay. A torch with a mixture of oxygen and acetylene, and it is burned to produce a high temperature flame. It is about 3300 degrees centigrade. This is used for cutting and welding metals. Okay. Now, it is used as a fuel when a mixture of hydrogen, oxygen combining with hydrogen, that is oxygen and hydrogen combined together, mixed together with a very high temperature of 2800 degrees centigrade, that is called oxyhydrogen flame. Okay. Now, it is used to remove the impurities which are present in the iron and the raw materials in the steel industry. It helps to convert pig iron into steel and wrought iron, which is the pure forms of iron. Pig iron is impure form. Now, it is used as an oxidizing agent in the manufacture of nitric acid from ammonia and of sulfuric acid from sulfur dioxide. It is the pure form of oxygen which is used as an oxidizing agent. Okay, it is used as a propellant fuel in the spacecraft. Liquid oxygen, that is called LOX, liquid oxygen, which burn liquid hydrogen as fuel to propel the rocket at high speed. Okay. Then we come to the renewal of oxygen in air. How we know that oxygen is continuously being used up, which is present in the air is continuously being used up. But this oxygen concentration, it remains almost fixed in the atmosphere, the oxygen concentration. So how it is done? Through oxygen cycle. Okay. What happens here? it is the photosynthesis which takes place naturally in the atmosphere. Photosynthesis which is taking place in the plants. It's a gift of the plants, gift from the plants, which we get this oxygen, by which we get this oxygen. The oxygen cycle, what happens? The atmospheric oxygen, it is being used up by respiration, that is plants and animals, they use up, and it is used up for burning, that is fuels which are burning and needs oxygen. Okay, these oxygen is being used up. Now they produces carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide is taken by the green plants for performing the photosynthesis process, which gives glucose to the plants. Okay, and oxygen is being released. This released oxygen again returns to is given back to the atmosphere. So this photosynthesis process is a gift of the plants. Now in the next video I'll start with the nitrogen of this chapter. Please go through this. If you have any doubt, please let me know. Write in the comment box and give suggestions so that I can improve my videos, and that will help you a lot. And if you like this video, press the like button. If you have not subscribed yet, please do subscribe. If you are a new viewer to our channel, please do subscribe and press the notification bell to get the notification in the first order. Okay, so thank you.